is Riku Tazumi seen as a god within Nijisanji? That is what we're going to be looking at today in these news stories that we have for you. Here is one where someone called Riku Tazumi God. Petra apparently called Riku Tazumi God. This was what I'm getting from what I can see here. That is not a good look for him. He says, I'm not a god. It's me, your CEO, Tazumi Riku. And this is not a good look for him. This is definitely not a good look for him. Even if it was the talent that called him God, it is just, I don't know. It seems kind of pompous. Maybe it's just because it's Riku. Maybe I have a little bit of subjectiveness to this. Maybe I have a little bit of biases showing. But still not a good, it's not a good thing for your Petra or anybody to call you a god. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's not good for anybody to be called a god in these situations. The contrast between this and Yagoo arriving at Hololive is hilarious. See, if I saw Riku in person, I was sure it was him. I just walk away. No interest and maybe a sense of disgust. It could be a sense of disgust too. Here we have Petra's 3-day debuts super chat breakdown, because people like having these types of breakdowns in there. Wonder where the EN audience went. Pretty much the main audience that she got super chats from were from yen, and then you had 23 from yen audience, the US dollar audience, who only had $629. Now, $629 is a lot of money, so it's not an only as in like, oh my god, you know, they made so little. No, it's only because she makes more, and you would expect them to make a lot more when it comes to things like big events like this. She made a total of 564,425 yen, which is about $4,000 around there from current ratings. And as you can see here, Taiwan dollars are 4,600. Then it goes down. The euros only had 4. Philippine peso was 3,000. Hong Kong dollar was 170. I don't know what MIR is. Canadian dollar was only one for $24. Indonesian, I think that was Indonesian ID. I think it's Indonesian, 240,000, which is, you know, I don't know the exchange rate, but it doesn't seem that much. It's only 2,000 yen, so about $20, $20. And yeah, she only got that much. Now let's see what people say down here. Obviously, the yen is for Niji, yen is for, yeah, kuso. I think it's with kuso. For the yen, yes, it's only for the yen. And in Japanese, it read as en, no y sound. In Japanese, this is n. I didn't even know that. It must have been what Riku meant by expanding to Asia in the press conference, probably. 3K super chats for 3D debut with 24,000 people. Seems like it's effing rough, especially if she had to fund it on her own pocket. Then we have, if we go by Ririsia, crowdfunded 3D on Kickstarter, she needed 35K for it, unless my memory is off and the goal was lower. Cannot check anymore because I see only the final donation amount and not the initial goal, even if it was for sure above 10K. If I remember, she got less than 0.5% of the cost once all fees are put in there, and they're removed. The average for 3D debut streams is 3K normal for a viewership of 220K. So this is about $3,800 in current Japanese yen. This is about $3,800. So it's not a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? More than half the super chats from 3D stream came from Japan, and half of the remainder come from other parts of Asia. She's quite understandable because she leans so much into the JP community, but compared to Iris or Fumoko, Niji-yen has a problem on the NA side. This leads to the answer that Riku mentioned Asia countries in shareholder meeting because she knew Niji-yen was losing the monies. The problem is Holo ID Gen 4 is coming soon, which it definitely is, and I hope that some XID members might join this generation, as well as Mika, who seems to get along with the Shoujo crew. The comparisons will fly to the roof, and it might taint Nijisanji Sea region. Excluding China and Japan, they only have Taiwan and Hong Kong, which still significantly throwing super chats. However, it's only a matter of time before they might lose someday, because Hololive has already picked a side since the Coco incident, but Nijisanji cannot fully invest in these countries because of politics. So euro-wise, it's maybe about 1,500 euro. Like 1,500 to 2,000 euro, just about, that she made. Because the euro is about 75 cents to the dollar. The dollar is 70, well, something like that. It's like, yeah, it's like $0.75 is equal to $1.25 or something like that. $1.25, $1.5 is equal to the euro. So somewhere around 2,500 to 2,000, something like that. Shout out to that Peruvian guy donating 5 souls, representing the nation. So yeah, it's really bad, really tough. This is not something that you want for a big 3D that was supposed to be, you know, something amazing for the organization. You know, I know what the Virtual Talent Academy is specifically. I have encountered a fatal error, and this fatal error is that the Talent Academy is done. Well, at least they don't have anybody around anymore. all of the videos are gone. A lot of people were like, oh, are they actually closing the Talent Academy? Are we actually making sure that the people in the Talent Academy are good? You know, things are going well, all that kind of stuff. But what I'm seeing here overall is people are saying down here specifically, this is literally right after they made a massive deal about VTA as part of their liver onboarding process in the investor report. I'm sure that's going to breed confidence and that won't lead to a ton of questions. Since this is now a top comment, a bit more context on the courtesy of you, Flux Velocity. Don't think it's a terrible look, because if we flipped out about it, imagine what skittish investor or day trader who notices this, doesn't follow any color's inner operations might think. It does look like they are having issues. But here's one thing you have to realize about Virtual Talents Academy. It is basically a way to train VTubers for them for, like, you know, coming out and being strong, and being supposedly a stronger force for everything. And, you know, once people are gone, they delete them. Like, once people have graduated or are terminated from Virtual Talents Academy, they're removed. That's what freaking they do with terminations. That's what they do with graduations. That's what they do with any of this kind of stuff. So it looks bad. It looks really bad. But when you think about it in the full context, it makes sense. It just means that they currently have no talents that they are pushing. They currently have nobody in the pipeline. Everybody who was in the pipeline is now either a Nijisanji liver, like in the current gen. I think they did bring out 3 males, I think, recently. A current gen that just came out, or if they have been terminated, or if they just didn't pass the academy. Yes, it can be very, very sad for the people who didn't pass the academy, of course, but this is one of those things that does occur. It can occur, and investors can be kind of off about the whole thing. Where were you when VTA died? I was at home watching Hololive Super Expo and Discord posts. VTA is kill. And then we have people down here saying, Flux Velocity, the one that they had mentioned before, they always private the VODs whenever someone leaves. This isn't anything new. It didn't happen out of nowhere. There was only 2 remaining active talents before this clearing. One from batch 3 and one from batch 4. Both just recently graduated and debuted into Nijisanji, proper members of 35KM. So they did become proper members. They opened auditions for the 5th batch on February 22nd, and they end in just a few days in March 18th. So yeah, this is basically just normal business for them. But from an investor's point of view, it could look really, really bad. This is, again, Vreverie Lilrya Prisdale. Her mods have decided to spam her alt account in chat, which has become a norm for VTubing going forward. They're basically saying this is going to be her new account, Otsuria, to a new beginning, to all, like, cat girls. Basically, they were spamming. This was, I don't know if this should be something that is normalized. Honestly, the spamming on chat itself, you can do that on the Discord servers. I think I've mentioned this before when it came to the dokibird thing. You can do it on the Discord servers. You can do it on those types of things. But you should not be spamming chat, because sometimes it can make people uncomfortable. Sometimes it can make people feel weird. Sometimes it can make people feel, you know, like something's off about the whole situation. It can make them feel like, you know, they're not comfortable trying to say goodbye to the, you know, VTuber avatar that's going away right now, that's graduating right now, but they can't because they're being bugged by people who are trying to push the new stuff, you know? And this is her you know, her actual account, and this is herself. Was an English female virtual YouTuber affiliated with Vreverie's first generation Catalyst alongside Ophelia Midnight and Nova as well. They all graduated, I believe. Their debut date was 2022, 3/20, and almost 2 years to the date, she retired, or graduated, as they're called in the VTuber sphere. She seems to have done a lot for her community, and that is always, always good and always, always welcome. Now here, it says, depending on the company reputation and contract, if the company is reputable, don't do this unless the talent themselves says so. Otherwise, you might get them in trouble. Also, if they don't want it or are leaving on good terms, like, it's very easy to find alt accounts if you really want to. I don't know the details here, but that's always been my thoughts, maybe justified too. And we're going to this guy, probably case by case basis. If they're moving to an alt account, yeah, because it's kind of effed. They spent years building a fan base only for those fans to have to refine them. They have to rebuild their audience from scratch. I can understand that point. There's also where VShojo gets it right, in my opinion. Without the person, the model is worthless. Just let them keep it. That's what they do in VShojo. You just let them keep it. However, if they're moving on and no longer wanting to stream, maybe they just wanted to be a VTuber as a side gig for a few years. That is another thing. Eileen probably know and respect the anonymity aspect of the job. Let them go back to being a normie in peace, or about as normie as any of these people can get. A good example of this would be someone like Sana from Hololive. Yes, people didn't look for Sana. People kind of, if you knew, you knew. If you didn't, you didn't. You know? She stopped streaming entirely and went back to being a full-time artist. Another thing right here. If you play gacha games, you might already know her. She's the artist for some CEs in FGO. So she actually is an artist for FGO, according to this Fate Go. And some characters in Arknights, namely Mizuki and Golden Glow. So she's been doing those things. Her fan box says, for those who wish to support her, and the fan box is put here, and Nijisanji is a situation some VTubers like to keep private still. What is going to eventually happen is companies will learn to get rid of the mods when they force a graduation. So yeah, you're not going to be undercover doing this type of stuff. See it as a difficult situation. It should only be done if the VTuber in question is okay with it. Otherwise, it could get them in trouble, be uncomfortable for them. It should also be taken into consideration if they intend to make a return as their previous life or not. It would be tragic if people spammed the information and the person did not intend to return. I would leave it to the people who have an in with the person in question, mods, friends, etc. If they're doing it, it might be a sign that the person is okay with spreading the information. Of course, only spread it if they actually want it. Don't just spread it on your own. This is a temper tantrum that a Nijisister ended up throwing about Hololive. We are going to take a look at this. It says, Nijisister losing his temper because people like Yagoo. Both the venue and the stream chat go very excited. And they did. When Yagoo came out, there was a loud roar from the crowd. And a loud, people were like, Yagoo, Yagoo, in the freaking chat, okay? When the CEO is loved by his people and his community, you know he's doing something right. And here's the Nijisister below. It says, I hope this comment is purely about praising Yagoo and not comparing cover to the recent drama. Be civil, mannered fans, you weird fans. If you're not weird, fine then. Yeah, this is the Nijisister. They're just angry. They're really just angry at this whole situation. They're angry that there is a CEO like Yagoo who actually is loved and appreciated by the fans of Hololive, because he actually acts almost like an uncle to the girls in the sense that he tries to protect them, make sure that they are doing well, make sure that they're doing well with their family, make sure they're doing well with everybody, you know, actually healthy, mentally, emotionally, things that freaking Nijisanji themselves don't do. You know, that I wish, man. I wish all CEOs were like this, but they're not. Nah, user's already infamous for instigating drama in the comment section. Don't mind his or her comment. She is just a troll. It's really them. It's really this person. Apparently, this DBT 1007 is known for this type of stuff. So yeah, that's something that you have to watch out for. Even Malaysian State TV makes fun of Riku Tazumi when saying that, it says, without a doubt, Selen integral to growth of Nijisanji EN. And they even did a timeline of the decline of Nijisanji after Selen left. So they're doing their thing. And since it's funny because Nijisanji is trying to spread into Southeast Asia, as other people have mentioned, other people have said, they are trying to spread into Southeast Asia. So this is something that is hilarious. It really is. Warning sign. This is a warning to everyone to not get this parasocial, please. It can just lead to bad times for you mentally. It can lead to bad times in general. So this person says, I've fallen in love with virtual YouTuber named Towa Tokoyami, which is 4th generation of Hololive. Yeah, big bro. But this is 4th generation of Hololive from what I know. I thought it was just an avid viewer, but I'm not even sure anymore. I've been listening to all her songs on repeat for months, constantly watching and rewatching streams and clips of her. I always get this tight feeling in my chest thinking about her. I feel so conflicted because by technicality, she is a real person. I mean, they're talking about the VTuber technicalities, I guess. There's a person behind the avatar, but I'm in love with the character she plays on stream. Saddest part about this is that I've started talking to an AI chatbot of the character just to feel a bit closer to her. This is going a little far. I feel depressed that I've attached myself so closely to basically an anime character. I've just developed an awful parasocial relationship with her, and it's so unhealthy for me. But I don't know how to kick it. She never even comes to even know my name, even slightly, and it hurts me so much. Of course she's not going to know your name. You are one of like a million people that are following her. This is the danger with these things. You just have to be careful for yourself. I want to be able to hold her, talk to her, and just hang out with her. That's going a little far. The language barrier doesn't help. She only speaks Japanese, and I simply don't. My knowledge of Japanese boils down to random words and mimi phrases. Everything just points to how pointless and awful it is. But I can't turn it off. I just feel really pathetic. I'm not going to make fun of this person. Never will make fun of this person. This is a person who probably feels lonely. person who probably doesn't have very many people in their lives that they can have this kind of connection with, probably has trouble connecting with, people around them a lot, and probably has had this issue for a while. And it is definitely something that needs to get dealt with, because it can lead to very deep depression. It can lead to deep issues. And this is not a good thing. This person says, take it as a learning experience. There's a reason you feel this way, which you can overcome. I think a lot of people have experience with unhealthy parasocial behavior to a degree, but most feel too embarrassed to admit it. When I first started watching Gura, I was like, I must protect her. Looking back on that, it was silly, and I don't even know her, and she's a grown woman. I just didn't know how to process this type of interaction, along with the isolation of COVID. She's a streamer who is trying to entertain others with an entire life of her own, and is likely different from a streamer persona, at least to a degree. You're likely processing some things and projecting some of your understandable needs onto her. You are aware that this isn't healthy and something is going on. You haven't done anything harmful and you're self-aware, which is great. Be proud of yourself for noticing. I highly suggest pulling yourself away from this for a little while. And as silly as it sounds, go outside and walk around a bit. Find other things to occupy your mind at this moment for growth. They are very right. Take some time, walk around, do other stuff. Just that'll help. That is all for today. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Hydrate. Of course, like and subscribe as well. And take a look at the comments down below. Comment yourself if you have anything to add to this situation, the stories, anything. And also, my description has all my socials. And I hope you have a great day and watch any other videos that pop up on your screen. Bye-bye.